As of late, modders have been active. In this video, what I want to take a look at are some of the recent updates coming to some of the big upcoming mods on their way to Fallout 4. Most notably, three of the big ones are those DLC-sized projects on the horizon. So first and foremost, let's take a look at some of the recent updates from the Fallout 3 Remake mod, that with Fallout 4 the Capital Wasteland project. As of late, they've been posting some images of some of their recent assets to be redone and recreated for later use in the larger mod. We get a look at the Fallout 3 styled hunting rifle. This looks great. I don't know why, but this weapon, more so than most others, actually really takes me back to Fallout 3/New Vegas. We could see not only Fallout 3 mods for this one, but even some of the stuff that appeared in New Vegas 2. And as you can tell, it looks great, brought up to the standard of Fallout 4, and even arguably a bit better than some of the weapons in Fallout 4, like that default hunting rifle. But even further, it looks amazing when used in tandem with the vault and armored vault suit also from Fallout 3. These images in particular, seeing this all coming together on the character in those renders, but then also in the screenshots, are one of the things that actually gets me extremely excited for this one. It really feels like we are getting a proper Fallout 3 remake, as we are from this mod team and mod project. And for whatever reason, these images in particular suck me in and really make me excited for it. And we also see a few in-game shots of Point Lookout. Right now, what this mod project is doing is working on the standalone copy of Point Lookout for Fallout 4, breaking off and remaking that particular DLC first, and it will be a standalone release that is reportedly getting closer and closer to a finalized state, as right now it seems like they're large in part working on the voice acting of it. The way this will work is it's actually going to be set during the time frame of Fallout 4, so about 10 years after Fallout 3, and you'll be going there as the protagonist from Fallout 4. But when the eventual larger mod comes out, you'll be able to go back to Point Lookout during that from Fallout 3's perspective, as it is a full-on remake. Either way, all of this looks great. Some updates across the board as far as the core mod, some of the assets, as well as where Point Lookout does stand and why you should continue to get excited for it. And for April Fools, they even had a pretty hilarious one for Fallout 4, the Capital Wasteland MACCREADY mod, which basically gave MACCREADY in Fallout 4 the outfit he did wear in Fallout 3. This coming in stunning, beautiful 1K textures, as we all hoped for, I'm sure. In a somewhat similar vein, we also actually have some pretty big updates from Fallout Miami. They've shared a ton of images of both interior world spaces as well as some of the assets they are making and using for the larger mod, but also a bit of a brief announcement that with the Fallout 4 Miami Misadventures standalone mod that is apparently coming soon. So this teaser image was posted over a month ago now, but it seems like they are following a somewhat similar suit to that of the Fallout 3 Remake mod, and rather than waiting for Fallout Miami in its entirety to be complete and ready for release, they will also have some kind of standalone smaller adventure releasing first, which basically means more great content from these DLC-sized mod projects coming to Fallout 4, which is pretty exciting. We don't know too much yet, but I have to imagine this will be one of those things that we'll hear about it and then shortly thereafter we will actually get to play it. If you haven't followed Fallout Miami too much, they of course have some of the best trailers out of all of the DLC-sized mods, but it basically is going to be a DLC for Fallout 4 where you still are the sole survivor, but you'll be going to Miami Beach, meeting some new factions, but also some familiar faces will be there too. These guys too have been posting a ton of really cool looking updates, including one of my favorites, actually the Tidestalker, which seems to be a new creature that will pop up in the larger mod. These guys look phenomenal. It looks like it'll be tormenting, terrifying to actually encounter, but even outside of the creatures, some of those interior shots do look quite phenomenal and definitely get me excited for this overall mod and its eventual release. In a similar vein, but with one big and distinctive difference, we also do have Fallout London. This too being a DLC-sized experience for Fallout 4, but of course being one of those rare looks at Fallout outside of the United States. Again, as the sole survivor, continuing what we have in Fallout 4, very much so like a DLC, it'll take us to pre-war Britain, where you can see the effects of the resource wars that were going on in the larger Fallout universe at the time before the bombs dropped, and of course the actual impacts of the bombs dropping on London, as you can see from some of these images in the background. These guys have been making huge progress as far as this world space overall does go, including some of the structures, interior locations, and exterior locations, but even some of the creatures that will pop up here and be totally unique, which actually makes a lot of sense when you consider the giant ocean separating where most of the Fallout games take place and then where Fallout London will take place. But even further, one of the other unique things going on with Fallout London as of late, outside of just some of their updates, which there are many, so many images have been posted by these guys that I quite literally cannot fit them all in this video, but they also have been releasing many standalone mods for us to experience right now. One of the first to look at is the Fallout London LUGER. LUGER. This of course being iconic for basically any British-based show, movie, or piece of media. It does fit into Fallout 4 with quite a bit in the way of customization options, including some extended ones if you definitely wanted that unique style. But of course the LUGER is oftentimes when firing quite distinctive from other weapons out there, and you will definitely get that captured in Fallout 4 with this mod. But if you don't want to just have a cool weapon in your game, you also do have the JUNKIE Knight Armor. This is a pretty special one in that it actually just feels like it makes a lot of sense across all fronts. Like, you can totally see how this is going to appear in Fallout London overall in that world, but it just fits in really nicely in the Fallout world in general. It really does look like something a raider would find and subsequently wear, and it looks great on your character. But for that more unique armor, if you want another more unique weapon, you also do have the DARDICK TROUND. This being a super unique weapon for Fallout London, and right now you can download it for Fallout 4. That does have a bit of an interesting style, but also those reload animations and the firing system for this one overall, using something distinct with those T-rounds. This is one of those cool ones that has that unique oddity about it, and it feels special in Fallout 4. There's so many different weapon mods out there, but this one definitely has that uniqueness to make it stand out. But if you just wanted to mow down enemies, what is probably my favorite weapon mod of the bunch, we also do have the BREN gun. Fallout 4 in general lacks weapons of this style. You can kind of get there with the weapon modification system, but if you wanted a true LMG, this is definitely a good option. And it's probably the one I had the most fun using against enemies out of all of the ones I showcase in this video. They also did release the Cable Street WOES outfit, this being a pretty cool outfit that will be a part of the larger mod. It definitely has a sleeker style to it. The WEBLEY 1913, which is a relatively simple pistol mod, but another cool one to flesh out those leveled lists. And lastly, the MARTINI Henry, which I think fits in phenomenally with Fallout 4. This has quite a bit in the way of customization options, a few distinctive styles for you to choose from, but it's unique in that it is going to be a high damage single shot weapon. So you'll have one shot and then a long reload, but that one shot will get the trick done 90% of the time as long as you actually land the shot. So overall, Fallout London has been posting a ton of content. I'll have links to their socials down below if you want to keep more up to date with things as they do get dropped, but this is definitely a mod project doing a lot both on the side of actually teasing us what's coming in the future with the larger project overall, but giving us a lot to experience right now. But that's not all. Those are the 3 DLC sized mods I wanted to highlight for this video, but we also have several other smaller scale mods that are on the way, with one of the next ones being Combined Arms. This being easily one of my most anticipated mods for Fallout 4 that will bring 11 weapons into the game. This being the current list, I'm not going to read them all out. There's not many mods out there right now where you can get 11 weapons added with a ton of customization options also. It's not like these are just going to be that base version and nothing else. No, they are fully embracing the customization choices of Fallout 4. This most recent update showcases some of the customization options and just the weapon suite overall, but also kind of announces 2 additional options that will be coming with the pack, that with the G36 as well as the AS Val, which will further just make this a great fit in Fallout 4 overall, fleshing out those leveled lists in numerous ways. This is one of those ones that's pretty crazy to me in that we are now going on 6 years since Fallout 4 did release, and we still somehow have like 3 weapon packs in total, 2 of which this mod author was involved in. Now this will actually potentially be the 3rd of the bunch and easily one of the highest quality and best yet. I'm sure many of your loaders just have a plethora of weapon mods fleshing things out. This will give people, especially on a subsequent playthrough, the opportunity to just download this mod, then perhaps a couple of your other favorites, and have things feeling pretty custom. I know I for one just get tired sometimes of seeing those familiar Fallout 4 weapons time and time again. Then a pretty interesting one from the same mod author that did bring us the Secret Service Power Armor, a full ground up recreation of the power armor to appear in Fallout 76's Wastelanders DLC, but here for free and for Fallout 4. He's also working on now a Secret Service armor, which too was introduced with the DLC as a non-power armor alternative, and this one actually looks pretty cool. I feel like it is quite a bit different than what we have in Fallout 76 if you really get down to detail. Overall, it has a similar style, but in some ways I actually prefer this fan-made modder recreated version. In addition, it's just an added bonus. He's also working on a survivalist jetpack. This was one of the microtransactions from Fallout 76, but now maybe a free download in the future for Fallout 4. Then we do have the Remington 700. This is a extremely high quality and actually really good looking weapon mod on its way to Fallout 4. This one just looks great. I get excited for these types of mods because I think playing Fallout 4 and survival using some kind of sniper or DMR is just one of the most fun ways to play, and this looks like it'll be a real high quality option, potential replacement for the typical hunting rifle or your favorite mod right now, we can see the base wood version, but then some of the customization options that will be featured with this. And last but not least, if you didn't have enough weapon mods for Fallout 4, there's also a really good looking G3 on the way. With that said though, it's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. Hopefully you found it informative. I tried to balance it out looking at some of these big mods, some mods you could download right now, and some smaller things that were perhaps not too far away. I really like some of these large scale mod projects going a route of releasing things now between these standalone singular releases with weapons, armors, etc. But then larger scale but smaller releases compared to the full-on remake through the full-on DLC. It's an exciting time for Fallout modding. I think the rest of this year will bring some pretty exciting and notable stuff. With that said, as always again, I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.